So right now on the line, we have our special guest, Darren Roebuck. Let me see if I can patch him through.
Hello, hello.
All
Hello,
right, we
we
hear
can hear you.
All right.
All right.
I like that Belarusian music. It's like, I want to go to the party where they're playing that stuff.
Yeah, it's a good one, right?
Yeah, I like the goth sound. It reminded me of the Goodbye Horses song. Or, other cool, dark goth music.
Are you into goth music, Darren?
I mean, I think I am now. I don't think I would have described myself that way 5 minutes ago, but but now, yes.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I'm not a enthusiast necessarily, but there's a couple songs that I've been getting into lately, and that's one of them.
I don't have the eyeliner on right now, but I can.
I was just pulling mine out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can dig it.
So, Darren,
I'm on Poshmark right now looking at black clothes.
nice.
Yes.
You're fast on the draw.
I mean, that's the way life is these days, you know?
It's true. Everything at your fingertips.
That's right.
Hot Topic.
Oh, that's where you need to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That store in the mall.
Anyhow, so you are our special guest of the night. We were introduced to you from our friend Susan, who may or may not be listening right now, but I'm recording it for her just in case she's not. She was doing something with her neighbor's cats or something like that. So,
Okay.
yeah, high priorities. Hi, Susan.
Cats always come first.
Yes. And so she requested one of your songs, and then we started talking about how you lived locally. Do you live in Boulder?
I live in Boulder.
Cool. And so we said, oh, well, we should have him on the song because we always like to support local-ish music. We are in the Fraser Valley of Colorado, up by Winter Park and Fraser, if you're familiar with that area.
Oh, yeah. And, in a straight line, we're actually very close.
It's true. The exact latitude line, right? Pretty much
it's
right
like,
on the 40-degree line.
It's like 8 minutes by plane.
Oh, man, if only. That'd make my life a lot easier.
I know, right?
I go to Boulder a lot. But, yeah, so you got great music. And tell us a little bit about let's start with your background. How did you get into music? And, yeah.
Let's turn on the Wayback Machine. No, it started. I started learning music when I was about 5, and my grandma started teaching me piano, and that lasted till I was about 6, because nearly every lesson ended with one or the other of us in tears. Let's just say we didn't connect on that front as much as she was awesome in my life. And then when I was about 10, my mom said, what instrument do you want to learn? And I said, the drums. And she said, no, guitar, piano. And after already having been through the piano thing, I was like, guitar sounds good. So a little while later, I was a little slow to sort of just finally say, let's do this. And I think when I was 13, I took my first official guitar lesson. And then it was just nonstop after that. I've hardly missed a day since then.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so that was the start. And then I went to a high school in Southern California that was very arts oriented. And I was active in the drama program for a little while. And then I got into the jazz band. And that was a real big deal in terms of I really learned what a work ethic in the arts is like while being there.
What is
my
it like?
senior year, I was probably playing 40 hours a week.
Okay. What is the work ethic like? Is it grueling?
I suppose you could say that. It helps to have a sense of understanding that the work pays off eventually, and so also helps if you're in it with other people. And, but putting in 3-4 hours a day at a minimum, I just learned really fast.
That's massive.
Compared to kids who were just doing it as a hobby, and certainly compared to what I was doing before then, which was I was doing, maybe an hour a day kind of thing. And then after that, I got to a point where between jazz band and I got into our school's our spring musical was Jesus Christ Superstar, and I got the guitar part in that. And then I also had a band, and so between playing in all the three of those things and then practicing at home, I was probably playing 8 hours a day, and it was really worth it because by the time I got to college here at CU, I was ready to start playing in bands and playing out, and I did that for like the next 30 years.
Awesome. Did you study music at CU?
Not formally.
Mm-hmm.
Their music program didn't have the type of program at the time that I wanted. I think they have it now, but they were more classical music oriented, especially in the guitar department. And I wanted to get more involved in like contemporary composition.
Cool. And then, yeah, so that leads you to playing in a lot of bands over the years since your CU days.
Sure, there was that. And then also right after I graduated, I was living with a bunch of guys in a house, and one of them, right then the Fox Theater was just opening up. Actually, it was just about to open up. Huh. And one of the guys in the house that I lived with was one of the people that owned the lighting system there. And he kept saying, Darren, you should do lights for us. You should do lights for us. And I had this like weird superstition that it would be like, I have this superstition that there's certain jobs that for performing artists shouldn't do because they're like cursed. It's like actors should never be waiters. Mm-hmm. And working in a music store, it can be death to a musician's professional aspirations because you're kind of around it too much and it's too frustrating.
I see.
And I thought this was going to be like that. So I avoided it for a while, and I had this terrible job working in the deli of a supermarket and finally had enough. And I think they had enough of me too. And so we sort of had this mutual firing, and I went to my buddy and was like, all right, I think I'm ready. And he said, okay. And it couldn't have been a better thing for my musical career after that. Because I ended up meeting tons of musicians, and as the lighting guy, touring all over the country for different bands, and it really increased my network of musicians. But also some of those guys from that band, I ended up being in their solo groups, and eventually, as I got into recording, I started producing some of their stuff. And because of sort of a cliche situation that happened in college where I was the rhythm guitar player in the band, and the bass player quit, and he left his gear at my house, which by default made me the bass player. And from that point forward, I was in at least 2 bands at a time for the next 25 years.
Wow.
And so during all that, I just got a lot of experience, which you just can't underestimate how much that pays off. Just all of that time playing.
Well, it shows in your music. I'm no connoisseur, but certainly you run across a lot of genres, and you sound very proficient in so many different instruments and styles. So, yeah, it's impressive.
I appreciate
for
that.
sure.
After 40 plus years of practice, I hope I'd get good.
No kidding. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, let's play some of your music. Do you have a request of which song you'd like us to play first? And maybe you could tell us a little bit about it.
Why don't we start with the oldest song first? So that would be I Am the King.
Perfect. I've got that
Which was
queued
a
up.
song I wrote in 2006. This album, actually, I really intended to just write songs from scratch. And I really just wanted to write a brand new album and record it in my home studio. Just to see if I could, honestly. And in the process of that, I pulled out a couple of songs that I really liked that I'd written years ago, but they never got recorded in a way that I thought did justice to my version of the song in my head. I mean, they were good for the band that was playing it, and everyone's contribution was very cool, but never came out the way I wanted it to be. So I thought, all right, let's try these again and see if I can pull them off. And so this song was one I wrote, like I said, back in 2006. And really the idea of it just kind of came from being frustrated watching TV. And it was MTV's The Real World was on, and this, and I was cleaning the house at the same time, so it was sort of on in the background. But, you know, sometimes I'm not in my best mood when I'm, you know, cleaning the bathroom. And this woman, you know, a young woman, maybe 20, asked these two young guys what their best pickup lines were. And these guys gave just horribly uninspired responses, which kind of just added into, you know, me scrubbing toilets and thinking about this being like so stupid. I was like, I'd tell her I was the king of everything. And right then I was like, oh, that's a great line for a song. And I ran down to the studio and I wrote the first two verses just from the first word to the last word, all in one shot.
Wow. And
then ended up writing the third verse a couple of weeks later. But it's one of the few tunes that I wrote that fast. And so, you know, this is one of those ones that sort of kind of came out of thin air for me, and ended up being a pretty cool tune with this little batch of recordings.
Awesome. What a great story to go along with it, too. All right. Well, I'll get that queued up, and then stay on the line, and we'll come back to you and do some more talking when we get back. But let's hear I Am the King
Awesome.
by Darren Roebuck. Thank you.
Cool.
Oh, I'm the king of everything. Yeah, I'm the king of everything. You say you like me for my money and my cars, and for my constellation made of movie stars. Well, just clap your hands and they'll bring you tea, even if it's a 2:45. I'm the king and it all belongs to me. Oh, I come to have you. I need to love you. I want you with me. Oh, I'm the king of everything. Yeah, I am the king of everything. You say you like me for my mansion and my sky, and my enormous aquatic gardens make you laugh. Well, jump right in and live the dream, swimming through my exotic bloodstream. I'm the king of all that I can see. Oh, I got to have you. I need to love you. I want you with me.
Darren, are you with us?
I am here.
Right on. Oh, that song rocks.
I'm glad you like it.
That is so good. We just got back from a surf vacation, so I love the surf vibes.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Southern California, so, right on the beach. So it's hard to, I actually played a lot of these songs, or actually all of them, for a friend before I released it. And it's a guy that I've known for a long time and played a lot of music with. And so, whose opinion I really trust a lot. And played this for him, and he just, after listening to it all, he said, "You can tell you're from California." And I thought that was pretty funny.
That's a good compliment.
I thought so too. I was like, it really, because I thought that, like, it was me, like, I am a Southern California surfer kid. And so, if it comes out in the tunes, that's cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, that song reminded me of the story of Archimedes. One, because it's called I Am the King, and king is a very important part of that story. And two, that you had the inspiration cleaning the bathroom. So the nutshell version of that story is the king of Syracuse gave Archimedes a challenge to figure out if his gold crown was actually really gold or like plastic. I don't know. They didn't have plastic back then, but
right.
Archimedes couldn't figure it out, so he goes to take a bath, and in the tub he figured out that he could dip an object and figure out how much volume it has, and he could also weigh the object, so that's how he came up with a way to measure density. So kings, and you're in the bathroom and you're scrubbing the toilet, but it's kind of like, well, Kristen said shower thoughts, and I thought that was so cool that you're like, just had an idea that popped into your head.
I love that reference. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of parallels there. I don't think I would have come up with that on my own. So, yeah, thanks for that. I think I'm going to hang on to that one.
It's a great
story.
story.
I'm going to tell people from now on. They're like, what's this song about? Oh, it's about Archimedes.
There
it's a legend, but I like
right.
I like that. Sometimes I am stuck on a problem and I need to take a shower or take a walk or something.
You guys are much smarter than me. I just go and drink a beer in the shower, and I'm not thinking about anything. So more power to you, artist types.
I think Archimedes did that.
he had a shower beer.
He had shower beers.
Nice. He had a shower beer. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth though. Like, I've had almost all of my best song ideas come to me in the shower, and I've talked to a number of other creative people in different art forms. And a lot of people say the shower or the bath is their favorite creative, energizing spot.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's because it's safe.
Uh-huh.
No one's going to come in and mess with you in there. I mean, unless you live in like a toxic household or something. But I mean, if it's just you and everyone respects your me time in the shower, no one's going to mess with you in there. It's just you and your thoughts, and it's warm. And I don't know. It's like when I sometimes try, like, like when I sit down to write songs, I often now will start by taking a shower and just see what comes into my head, and then start working on that.
That's cool. Kind of like a cleanse the palate.
It kind of is. It's sort of like putting my game face on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also sort of like a magic talisman kind of thing, Like, I feel like if I rub the genie's lamp a little bit, I'll get some genie action.
Awesome. And I saw your photo on your website, and you were bald in some of those photos. So I'm
bald all the time.
There you go. So rub your head as you're cleaning.
That's
and
right.
It's you're the genie.
Yeah, I'll put on my hammer pants, rub my head, and I'll just write only hit songs after that.
Nice. There's the formula.
That's right. Not about hard work or anything.
No. Okay, you guys have inspired me to stop drinking beer in the shower and to not listen to podcasts in the shower anymore.
Right, listen to your own podcast in your head.
I like that. I like it. So I wanted to ask you, so you are a one-man record company, and tell us a little bit about that, how it came about, and what it's like to hold that title.
Well, I think one has to be somewhat masochistic to start with that.
You are the king.
No, actually, that's not really the case. That's just a joke. But all of this came organically. I mean, I wanted to try to write and play all the parts on these songs just to see if I could do it. And I've been producing audio and music, and I'm a voice actor for a living, so that's afforded me the opportunity to install a pretty decent studio in my house, and as well as give me vocal training too. And as I was putting all this together and seeing that it was coming together pretty well, I kept thinking, I'm just going to see how far I can take this on my own. Because I've always just been in bands or been part of, group, more collaborative projects. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, if I have gotten this far, what's the next step? And so then that's really just, how do you package and market music? So I thought, well, I can make a website. It's not too challenging for people these days. It's like there's a lot of tools out there where you can just kind of make a website. And then kind of, thinking like, well, what's the next step? It's like, well, I guess market it to radio stations. And of course, this was by the power of my good friend Susan, mm-hmm. That she connected us, which is also part of it, really. It's like the connections you have. It all sort of starts at home and then works out in kind of concentric rings, which for most bands, that means physically. Like you get in the van and start playing gigs a little bit farther away from your house. And with this, it's more like social connection rings. Mm-hmm. And then I went online. I was like, well, how do I find local college and independent radio stations? And guess what? Wikipedia has a list of all of them all over the world. So then it's just a matter of click, copy, and paste.
Yeah.
And so then I'm the marketing department. And that's actually been a really fun and rewarding thing to do it all, because with the tools we have these days, you can do it all. Mm-hmm. And, 10 years ago even, we probably couldn't have, and 20 years ago, certainly not. Certainly not without having an enormous budget. Mm-hmm. So this has been me taking a hobby / profession and really turning it into a business. And now, if you go on the website, you can see all the videos and listen to all the music, and there's merch and stuff too. And it's like looking at it after I built it all was like, I have a record company. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess I need to follow through with that then, because once it exists, you kind of got, it's like you can't just have a car in the driveway. You got to take it for a ride. So that's where I've been with all that.
I have to say, I watched some of your videos, and they are super cool and fun. And if our listeners want to watch some of your videos, what is your website?
The website is deeporbitstudio.com. Mm-hmm. And that's deeporbitstudio.com. Nice. And you can also just find them all on YouTube.
Sweet.
And the music's available on the website, and it's also available on every streaming platform that I know of.
Speaking of music, let's see. Do you have a request for the next song that we play?
Yeah, let's do the song She Thinks Otherwise.
Cool. All right. Got that queued up for us. And for all of our listeners out there, you are listening to Darren Roebuck, special guest here at KFFR. And the time is currently 8:57 p.m. And you are listening to KFFR, Winter Park, Grand County Community Radio at the headwaters of the Colorado River, broadcasting at 88.3 FM and streaming worldwide at KFFR.org. And Darren, we might have to have you, we might have to get you to read one of those station IDs for us one of these days and one of your character voices.
Happily.
Cool. Okay. It's a deal. So anyway, here is She Thinks Otherwise by Darren Roebuck. And Darren, if you'll hold, please, we'll be back with some more music.
All right. Standing by.
Thanks.
some wheels and I wanna go. Says what she feels, so I know, yo. She's a breeze when she starts to float, like making island, yo. She's a wheels and I wanna go. Says what she feels, so I know, yo. She's a breeze when she starts to float, like making island, yo. All of her emotions are masterpiece. The rhythm of the ocean, sweet release. Eternal affirmation of asking peace. She possesses wonders and never cease. All of her emotions are masterpiece. The rhythm of the ocean, sweet release. Eternal affirmation of asking peace. She possesses wonders and never cease. Too fine to be alive, too sweet to speak of other guys, too cool to waste the time on fools like me, but she thinks otherwise. Too fine to be alive, too sweet to speak of other guys, too cool to waste the time on fools like me, but she thinks otherwise. A drunk away, oh that I can't believe. Benevolent deceptions of the sleep, an affluence of love with no reprieve. More alive than creation can conceive. A drunk away, oh that I can't believe. Benevolent deceptions of the sleep, an affluence of love with no reprieve. More alive than creation can conceive. Too fine to be alive, too sweet to speak of other guys, too cool to waste the time the sunshine. Oh my, I can see that gleam in her eye. She got a smile on her face that she just can't shake. Oh my, I can see that gleam in her eye. She got a smile on her face that she just can't shake. Oh yeah, the sunshine lights up her hair. The love that's between us, we just can't break. Oh yeah, the sunshine lights up her hair. The love that's between us, we just can't break.
All right, Darren, are you there?
I'm here.
Sweet. Sorry about that. I accidentally played 2 songs in a row. I meant to play one and come back to you, but we got on a roll and just kept going.
That's all right.
So we started off playing She Thinks Otherwise, and then we rolled right into Things Are Getting Better.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to tell us about that song or either of them?
Well, they're both actually, they were both conceived in a similar way,
Okay.
with probably the greater example being She Thinks Otherwise, where I just was kind of mindlessly picking on the guitar while I was sort of getting my recording stuff set up to just sort of try to write a new song. And I just started playing that little guitar riff. And at first I was like, what's that? That's stupid. Don't play that. And then I listened to it. I'm like, actually, that's kind of cool. And I wrote it down. And I recorded it once and then just put it in a folder and didn't think about it again for like another month.
Yeah.
And then when I listened to it the second time, I was like, that's kind of cool. I was like, I wonder what kind of bass line would go with that. And so I played that bass line, which sort of just came out. Like the whole song sort of built itself organically without me really even thinking about it. And I'm like, well, I'm this far. I'm like, what kind of lyrics can I write? So one of the tools I like to use, and I know a lot of songwriters use, is a rhyming dictionary. And online there's a number of great sites that have, lists of rhymes. So without trying to be sort of stream of consciousness, not trying to write a story or preconceive anything, I just started like coming up with lines that felt cool, that had rhymes, and then looking down the rhyming dictionary to pick out rhymes that I never would have thought of before.
Okay.
And ended up getting from the top to the bottom of it. And then I went back and read it like, what kind of story did I write? Well, what's this about? I didn't really think about what is this about. And it was the same with both songs. The lyrics were both written the same way. And it was kind of neat to sort of go through this, just sort of coming up with stuff off the top of my head and then seeing what it's like. It was almost like, building a sandcastle in the dark and then turning the lights on.
Oh, cool.
And being like, oh, is that thing cool or not?
Right.
And, it was like 80% cool. And I went back and, over a little bit of time, tweaked up the lines that were being pesky. But otherwise, in both cases, they kind of just came together in a way that was really organic and natural. And for me as a songwriter, that's one of the greatest gifts that can happen, is when you don't even feel like you wrote your own song. It just sort of comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of those were really kind of similar, and I tried to make them abstract enough that people can sort of write their own meaning as to what it all really means in their life.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool background. I'm definitely going to listen to the lyrics differently the next time I listen to those songs.
I like drinking wine from the bottle and hitting the throttle.
Yeah, I know. And I
don't actually do that, though. Don't. Maybe have your friend drink the wine and you hit the throttle. Or it's drinking.
Indeed. And actually, when I wrote that, I was like, I can't write that. That's a drinking and driving reference. Like, I can't do that.
It's rock and roll.
Like, but what else am I going to do? But it's like rock and roll outlaw kind of stuff. So it's like, maybe I'll let it slide. Then went back to one of my mantras, which is, what would Led Zeppelin do? And they would probably leave it.
Yeah. What would
Great mantra.
WWLZD.
Right.
Awesome.
I had a question for you. So in listening to those two songs and others, the vocals have a chorus or choral quality to it. So I assume that's all you and you don't have a backup singer. Can you tell us how you get that effect?
Sure. It's just as simple as singing it a bunch of times with different notes. Yeah, I was basically being my own, the lead singer and the backup singers. And so what you're really hearing is, I think on both of those songs, is a conglomeration of somewhere between 6 and 8 tracks. Some of them are the exact same thing, just doubled. And then there's harmony vocals in different pitches. And then it gets a little bit more elaborate in She Thinks Otherwise, where in the chorus there's like super high pitch. I mean, as high pitch as I can get, like a falsetto voice just hitting certain words, but not the whole line. And it has like a ping pong delay, so it bounces back and forth, which actually sort of increases a bit of the groove of that chorus rhythm. And so it's really just a function of multi-tracking and spending a bunch of time in the vocal booth, just doing it over and over again until I got it to where I was happy with it.
Yeah, and I think your videos really illustrate that too, because your videos show you playing the instrument in one scene and playing the guitar in another scene and singing, and they're all side by side, so it looks like a whole band is playing. And I just thought to myself, man, that took a lot of time to do that again and again and play it all the way through.
Well, you know, I have a bit of a filmmaking, video making background, and I've done it professionally as like a crew member, and I learned some tricks. So ultimately, I did it all in one big batch. I recorded all of the different parts for all the songs in a period of basically 2 days, and then spent the next like 2 months editing them together.
Wow.
And when you do it all in a big batch like that, the way the tools are, you know, the production tools, you can save a lot of time by like, you know, just like when you shoot on the green screen, you have to one thing where you key out the green screen. And if you do it all in the same environment, you can copy that setting and paste it into all the others. So where I could like take one thing and I set it up just right, then I copied it and I pasted it into the 60 other things, it saves a lot of time.
Okay. All right. You're revealing your secrets here, your secret
I
weapons.
am, and I'm happy to do it. I hope other people can. I mean, all of this was done in my house. You know,
that's
like
awesome.
My video studio is my living room. And I was going to say, and then I got the audio studio in a back bedroom in my basement.
Ah, nice. Okay. And was this by chance a COVID times project?
It started there and then finished this summer.
Okay.
So it was really sort of the end of COVID where I came up with the idea. It would have been better had I started earlier. I would have had a lot more time. But actually, like, I randomly came up with the video gear during COVID. I was working on a different project that ended up sort of falling apart. But in the process of that, I ended up meeting a guy who was getting out of the videography business and was selling all of his gear in one shot. And I thought, I should just do this. I sort of bit the bullet and did it. And then when that project fell apart, I'm like, well, now what? But because I'd written all these songs and I'm like, well, I got the video gear, I may as well use it. Then I thought, well, you know, I'll just take a couple of days and shoot all these things.
Cool.
What a cool way to visualize a song that you played all the parts of, you know, is to make a video where there's multiple copies of yourself all in the same shot, you know, like...
well, I actually have a cloning shed in my backyard, and I'm actually getting pretty good at making clones.
Nice.
It must be clones. Yeah, that's the only scientific explanation.
it's the only logical response to all of this, and it's really the only way to get this done.
The
I
world
say I'm doing it by myself, but it's not really, I mean, genetically speaking, I am.
The world needs more Darrens.
That's what my mom said.
Yeah.
Actually, she doesn't.
She's right.
Oh, that's so kind of you.
So we've taken a lot of your time. Thank you so much for being with us here on KFFR. Cool. Well, you'll have to hit us up if you're ever in the Fraser Valley, and you know,
Fact
if you
is,
if
I'm
you want
there
to
a
play
lot.
a show.
I love all the hiking and biking and stuff that's in your beautiful corner of the Rocky Mountains.
Awesome. Yeah. If you want to do a show up here or something, we will certainly help you promote it and all that good
Thank you.
stuff. Yeah, we've got some
I'll
good
ask the clones
venues.
and see if they're into it.
See what the band thinks. And then speaking of that, do you have any gigs that you would like to tell us about? Or
Actually, no.
Okay.
I've really been focused on recording and making the videos, and that's really how I plan on bringing this stuff to the world. So I thought I could put a band together and start playing gigs and touring, but that takes a lot of time to do. And I thought in the amount of time it would take me to go on tour and like rehearse a band up to where we were ready, and then book the stuff, and then go on tour and come home, I could write and record another album.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing. I'm working on number 2 right now.
Nice. That was my next question, is what's coming down the line? Do you have a goal of when that second album will be out?
It's so early in the process that it's really hard to pin things down, and there's always going to be unforeseen things that will change the timeline. But I know my process well enough to think that I could have the next one done by next summer.
Awesome. And if it doesn't happen, that's okay. Hopefully it just
Then
means you're
it'll
out
be
hiking and
Christmas or
biking
later.
and yeah,
Yeah.
doing other fun life things.
Well, you know, you might see the results of the hiking and biking in the videos.
Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued. We'll keep posted.
All right. And I'll definitely keep you informed when the next stuff comes out.
Sounds good. Yeah, please do. And then any kind of final information that we didn't ask you about that you wanted to share?
That's it. I hope that whoever's listening takes a little bit of time to hear the tunes. You can find it anywhere. And like we said earlier, it's deeporbitstudio.com is where you can find everything. And then if you search Darren Roebuck or Deep Orbit Studio on YouTube, you'll find all of my stuff, and it's on every streaming platform that people use. So once again, find it. I hope you find a favorite song in there and you enjoy it.
Cool. And then I had a bonus song of yours that I really liked. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go out with the song Lady Love.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It's a little bit more on the mellow side, but that one kind of spoke to me.
Awesome.
I like that one too. It's different. It struck me as like the anthem of like a medieval fantasy world or something.
It's a waltz, right?
It's kind of. You can waltz to it. It's in 6/8 time.
Ooh.
I actually wanted to. My original concept of the video was to try to find some dancers to dance in a waltz, dressed kind of like they were extras in the Harry Potter universe, and I wanted them to dance in double time to it, so I could play them in slow motion, but in time with the actual tune in the video.
That would look so interesting.
But which may still happen at some point. But working with a budget of 0, I had to rely on the clones.
You're revealing your secret again, but I love open source. I'm way into open source. There's always more to learn. So
I believe with art, it's like it comes down to, if you give 100 people a pencil and a piece of paper, you're going to get 100 drawings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you tell someone how to make something, everyone's going to do it differently. So that's better for all of us.
Awesome.
Wise words. Yep. Don't hoard it. Share it.
Yeah.
Share the love.
and we all get better.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Darren, and have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me on, and I look forward to making those radio call-outs for you.
All right. Thank you. And here is Lady Love on KFFR.
By Darren Roebuck. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Darren.
Lady love, will you come to me through the ether materialize? Allow me to unravel your mystery, calling you closer, our beings unite. Souls light unfolding, our energies grow. Tendrils entwining forever to know. Lady love, will you sing to me, sharing melodies oh so sublime? I can feel your vibrations caressing me, pulling us closer, our hearts keeping time. Tones you're composing, aligning my soul. Alchemical binding like strings to bow. Lady love, will you dance with me? Let me spin you away through the night, floating free of the confines of gravity, gracefully gliding into the divine, rhythmically winding, aligning to flow. Together lighting like rainfall and snow. Lady love, will you make love to me? Will you feel my eternal desire? Holding me, combining our energy, growing and glowing, consumed by the fire. Radiant embers with flames all aglow.